Hi. On today's show, I have AI principal technical consultant Mo Fagir. Mo is a really interesting guy. We had a great time talking a lot about AI, what's coming in ServiceNow. I really hope you enjoy this episode.
Mo, look, thanks for joining me here on the GetSome channel. And please tell me a little bit about you, how you got into ServiceNow, your role, and then let's just go from there about AI and all of that sort of stuff that's coming in ServiceNow.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you very much for the invitation for this. My name is Mo Fagir. I'm a principal consultant at ServiceNow, and my field of expertise is AI. Been at ServiceNow for around 2 years and 6 months now. Joined in August 15 of 22. And what got me into ServiceNow? So I was essentially always in the field of AI, and that is until today my passion. Was working in organizations like NASA, University of Sheffield, all about the research and the cutting edge of AI, how to advance the field. That one was more interested in how I can put AI to action. And that is essentially where it comes to enterprises and enterprise AI. So that is where ServiceNow is one of the leading when it comes to enterprise, if not the leading in most of when you look at IT, HR, customer service management, and other workflows. It's one of the leading in most of these areas, and hence it was the perfect opportunity for me to join ServiceNow and help in terms of our AI and generative AI capabilities. So when it comes to what I am doing today, in terms of the principal technical consultant supporting our customers, in terms of adopting as well as enhancing AI solutions when it comes to chatbots, when it comes to search engines, more recently generative AI, and how you can combine that also with predictive AI. There's huge potential there. That's where I mainly support customers in terms of that adoption and enhancing of those AI solutions.
So that's a question there. Maybe you can tell us, the audience, a little bit about the types of AI that are in ServiceNow. I know there's a lot of talk at the moment about Gen AI, but also the predictive side of things, which exists in the platform. Just a little bit of that, because some of the people who will be watching this will be very aware of what's coming. Others won't, and others won't know about some of the existing AI capability in ServiceNow.
Definitely. And indeed, so we have many. And when it comes to AI, especially in the ServiceNow platform, it's been around for a long time there. It's not just in the generative AI that we have been a first mover. Even if you look at predictive AI, just machine learning, pure machine learning there, where I have machine learning solutions like similarity, clustering, the ones that can come in, or classification, that can come in and help me automate the manual tasks that I have today based on historical data. That has been quite a long time in the ServiceNow platform, and our customers have got a lot of value from those as well. Just taking one use case, we've seen Accenture, for instance, automate over 1,000 data points in just a day by helping categorize any of the tasks that they had and being able to take those using machine learning, auto-populate any of what should be related to a ticket and send it to the right person there as well. That is a lot when you look at the value of that versus humans being able to do all of that. That was the potential of predictive AI. Now you combine predictive AI with generative AI, that can also unlock further significant potential. And that is also what our customers are realizing today. To give you a very simple use case, when you look at predictive AI, it's great at looking at historical data. So when you look at the ServiceNow platform, and I'll take a typical ITSM use case, I have tickets. When I come to look at an agent, any similar resolved tickets will typically help me go ahead and address a ticket that I'm currently facing there. And if I can combine those similar resolved tickets, for instance, with generative AI, I have the past 5 or 10 tickets. I have Gen AI that I can apply on top of that to summarize all of that and present that agent, that context. That can be of huge value as well. And that is the significance of combining predictive AI with generative AI to unlock even significant further value and in terms of productivity, experience, or efficiency gains there.
Are you seeing clients starting to do that, like they're starting to use the predictive AI, looking at their existing history of tickets, suggesting that maybe an assignment group would be this assignment group and a categorization would be this, then triggering a workflow with Gen AI in it to then go and action things, start automation and resolution of tasks? Is that coming? I'd imagine that would be something that the guys in the security incident space would be looking for, that kind of capability, because that must just be amazing time saver when you're facing a threat.
Definitely, and those capabilities are already available with our latest releases. When you look at Xanadu and previously, we've already released some of these capabilities when it comes to Now Assists, our ServiceNow generative AI offering. So recently, we have, for instance, released a capability called Incident Assist, where an agent can just go ahead and click on one button, the Incident Assist, and get any answers about any questions they might have related to incidents. What are the caller's assets? What are similar resolved incidents that have come in the past? And with that, I can apply predictive AI on top of Gen AI and easily get those contexts there.
And so that's all natural language. That's just them like typing in saying, hey, can you tell me about their previous incidents or their current assets?
Right.
That's
exactly.
Great.
Can imagine the time it would save even agents who are less experienced in the organization now can just use generative AI on board easily and ask those questions, be able to resolve those incidents. I cut down the time to resolution significantly by enabling my agents asking all those questions or asking for similar resolved incidents. So that's the power of combining predictive and generative AI as well. And that's, again, when it comes to the ServiceNow platform, it is the AI platform for business transformation, because you can combine capabilities that we've already had for the platform for a long time, like these predictive AI capabilities I mentioned, those predictive intelligence, task intelligence, with solutions like generative AI as well. And we offer these capabilities out of the box, where customers have the flexibility of even building these even further or customizing these.
So obviously the amount of data that you have within, say, your instance, if you're looking to do predictive intelligence, I'm imagining, is what is needed. Like you need to have a history of incidents or a history of HR cases or CSM cases, and you can then predict based upon that. Do you know, is there work being done within ServiceNow to be able to say, because I've thought of this use case myself, where I've known a client, they don't have a great deal of incidents. They might have 5,000 incidents or something. They haven't used ServiceNow for that long. But I've wondered, is there a way that you would be able to use the knowledge that ServiceNow must have of incidents in general to be able to still predict theirs, like to take a model, an existing ML model that you have, and apply it to their limited data set, but still, I would imagine, get relatively accurate predictions coming out of it? Is that sort of thing possible, do you feel? Or do you still need a client to have a minimum number of records before you can go and do you still need to go and build them their own specific ML model for them to do that prediction?
Very, very, very good question here. So as you can imagine, data quality and data, just having data there is the foundation of AI, or even when you look at generative AI there. So yes, having a good enough data set is very critical when it comes to either volume or when it comes to the quality of it. When we look at it at ServiceNow, we typically recommend, for instance, if you're looking at our predictive intelligence solutions, typically recommend around 10,000 records, at least a minimum of those, to produce a good enough solution. However, to your question here, now this generally taking it at the field of AI there, it's something we've always dealt with in the fields. I don't have enough number of records. And to give you a simple example, if I look at AI in the medical field, for instance, when I'm looking at diseases like cancer, there's a very limited number of the population that actually faces such diseases. But I still would like to train an AI model that can predict that with a certain level of accuracy. So we still do have machine learning models that can predict these with very high accuracy, and we do have techniques in the machine learning world that can also account for that as well. So for instance, we have techniques like SMOT. They can help us oversample in terms of these data sets where we have a huge imbalance. So such techniques do exist in the AI world. And when you come to the enterprise AI side, yes, I don't always need to have these 10,000 that I've just mentioned here. There are, again, ways for us to reduce that number. So for instance, any of our solutions that we offer, there are pre-trained. So when you look at task intelligence or predictive intelligence, yes, these are pre-trained models that we offer as ServiceNow as well. And then you go ahead and further fine-tune that on your own data set. So if you don't have the optimal data, or in terms of volume of records, let's say, then yes, you could still go ahead and extract value from these capabilities. But what becomes more important there is actually evaluating the model there. So we have metrics when I look at the predictive AI or machine learning models like precision, recall, etc. Those are become very, very critical to measure and ensure that the model actually performs well and is not overfitting, what we call overfitting in the machine learning world, or is overconfident in the data set that I'm training it on. So yes, even if you don't have, to put it very simply, even if you don't have the right volume or the data quality, I would say it's quite important first to evaluate that, ensure that you at least have, in terms of those volume of records, the right quality. If so, then go ahead with testing and evaluating whether you can get that value. And whether in terms of that POC, if you can, then it's always makes sense to go ahead and scale that and take it forward. Even as ServiceNow, for instance, we offer a simple best practice. If your machine learning models are at least 80% accurate and have what we call 70% coverage, so can predict at least 70% in terms of the data points, let's say if I have 100, can predict in terms of 70 of those, then it's typically more valuable than a human workforce or manual labor doing that exact same work there. So that's where I can go ahead and bring in AI to possibly reduce those errors and get that value from AI in that particular process.
So could I, as a customer, if I have data and I've found a specific scenario where I have my staff doing prediction, like it might not be the out of the box, what category is this incident, but maybe somewhere in my workflow, I've got some custom fields or something, and I want them, or they need to predict, they need to, like, they look at they read the incident, they think about what they know about other ones, and they go, it's probably this. They're not 100% sure, but it's probably that. Is that something, can I take the predictive engine within ServiceNow and then tailor it to those fields that I have got within my organization, so that I can move that predictive intelligence from just, like I say, the out of the box, like predict the priority or the category, but to my own custom field?
Yeah, definitely. And whether it's predictive or even our more recent task intelligence solutions, both can be extended to such solutions there. So, or to such scenarios where I have custom fields. So for instance, if I take task intelligence or more recent solutions where we offer, again, there, whether you're looking at classification or similarity, those can also be achieved with our task intelligence solutions. And here, it's based on your incident table, for instance. If I'm looking at it from the ITSM scope, and there are any of the fields, I can do multi-field predictions as well. Based on the incident, the short description of the incident, I want to predict the category, the business service, and maybe 2 other custom fields as well. I can definitely train my model on that, and based on that, go ahead and predict those as well. So yes, 1, you can expand those to your custom fields, and 2, you can even do multi-field predictions with a single model when it comes to our task intelligence solutions. And we highly recommend that. So for instance, as just a starter use case, categorization of incidents, that's today, if I do the wrong categorization, that can cost a lot to the business, and the time to resolution of that just keep going into a reassignment, probably the incident. That is what we can easily cut out with a solution like task intelligence there. So yes, as you noted, if I have the opportunity to build machine learning on top of that, and even to my custom fields, that's the significant value that I can realize. Categorization of my incidents possible.
So here's just a question, because I'm just not aware then. So the predictive intelligence and task intelligence, are they the same technologies, or they're different technology within ServiceNow?
Great question. So they are built on the same technology, which is machine learning here, but both of them are two different products when you're looking at the capability suite or the features that they provide. So they're both machine learning, as I noted. But what task intelligence provides you is the ability to do multi-field predictions, as I mentioned, with a single model. When I look at predictive intelligence as a simple difference, it's only able to do a single field prediction with a single model there. So if I want to go ahead and predict on the category, maybe configuration item, the business service, etc., I would need to build a model for each one of those solutions. Versus in task intelligence, it's one model that can handle all that. But when you get in predictive intelligence is also further flexibility. So what I would say is task intelligence is much more simpler to configure and derive value from, as well as, and it's multi-field prediction. But if you do have that machine learning or data science expertise, then predictive intelligence provides you more flexibility. I can potentially select which machine learning model based on my solution and use case and the data that I have. That flexibility is provided within predictive intelligence as well.
So if I'm building a flow in ServiceNow, I would have the ability to pull in as an action predictive intelligence action and ask it to use its model, and then later in my flow bring in the task intelligence model and utilize its multi-field suggestion capabilities, that sort of thing. Okay.
Definitely. And actually, very early in our generative AI journey as well, in our control go-to-market, that was one of the typical use cases we saw with our customers testing and building out as well. The ability to use predictive intelligence and then combine that with the generative AI as well. So indeed, I can use Flow Designer and possibly bring those together as well.
So on the topic of Flow Designer, something I saw recently that really did blow my mind was the text-to-flow capability. Like, that is so cool. Have you had some experience with that, or can you talk a little bit about that, or where you're seeing that used?
Indeed. That is, again, a huge capability when you're looking at our creator suite as well. And I love our developer sort of capabilities. As you noted, you're a developer and I myself a developer as well. Whether you're looking at text to code, text to flow, and a report that I needed from ServiceNow, I can just generate that using natural language, or an application or catalog item. There's many possibilities now with generative AI in the creator suite as well. Or even more recently, Spoke, generating an entire Spoke, or even a portal or a workspace there has been released through UI generation more recently. So yes, the possibilities and realm of possibilities in the creator suite Now Assist is huge. And one of my favorite capabilities is text to flow there. All business rules, possibly before that, scripting that and the time it takes, that's quite long in terms of that. So you can imagine now I can just enter in natural language and it generates the entire flow along with the annotations for that as well. So even less experienced developers in ServiceNow can easily just use the capability and go ahead and derive that value. And you've seen in many of our studies, over 30% productivity has been realized when it comes to our creator capabilities there as well. Main reason, again, is using just natural language. An entire flow with all these steps around it can now just be built with the annotations as well. This process, I want this process to start at this time, or to evaluate a particular table. I can all just enter that in natural language now. So you can imagine, no longer should I be an experienced person, maybe when it comes to a typical use case with Flow Designer or business rules, rather than having to script those out. As you're aware now, using the Flow Designer is something I can easily go ahead and achieve that. And that's simply just using those natural languages. One huge use case we've seen customers adopting there as well.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing stuff. The area that you're working in at ServiceNow, if I'm correct, it's the Impact and Accelerators group. My understanding is that the impact, and this may be wrong, so please correct me, is that impact is sort of an extension of support that you get from ServiceNow, and it allows you to have people from ServiceNow look at your environment or clone your environment and then give you feedback on it. Is that sort of what happens in this space?
Great question. And indeed, so ServiceNow Impact is, so I fall under the customer excellence group, and ServiceNow Impact, as you noted, is our customer success. And essentially, it combines technology and human expertise there, so we can help our customers derive further value from their ServiceNow investments and product. So indeed, it's not only just human expertise, but also through technology. They get what we call the Impact Digital experience, where they can go ahead and navigate through that, get any support that they might need, questions or community answers, or even request these technical accelerators. So as part of ServiceNow Impact, I'm part of a team called the Technical Accelerators at Scale team. And what we do is support our customers through fixed scoped offerings. So the likes of jumpstart or tune-up offerings is what we call them. So typically for customers interested in around a particular product, how they can adopt that functionality, maybe they don't have that yet, then we offer them a jumpstart. Could be a jumpstart your virtual agents, if they haven't yet tried the virtual agent, or AI search, that's our search engine. Then we typically help them through a jumpstart your AI search. And as you noted, we do also have the option for copies of customers' instances as well. So a customer can select one. And with that, we can go ahead and bring that product to life in that customer's instance as well. Maybe they haven't yet tried the virtual agent. They want to see how it works. And we can help them with that jumpstart, as I noted. When it comes to our tune-up as well, then these are the offerings where we can evaluate the customer's products. Let's say it's, again, machine learning, they're using task intelligence or predictive intelligence, or one of our virtual agent capabilities, NLU maybe. We can also evaluate that product against ServiceNow best practices and then provide them tailored recommendations to improve that as well. So indeed, it is essentially here technology, whether it's one of the technical accelerators, or there's also other offerings with ServiceNow Impact. They also get support, whether that is a support account manager that can help them accelerate the timelines to get any of the support cases and address those in a timely manner, or even impact squads as well, where there is a success architect, a platform architect that can help the customer with the technical and the strategy side of it, or even a dedicated customer success manager that can help the customer through their journey with ServiceNow as well. So there's a lot that is provided in ServiceNow Impact that can help our customers get further value and accelerate their time to value.
So for a technical accelerator, then let's say the example you gave was it AI search or something like that, I think. Say I was a client and I wanted to get that technical accelerator from the impact team at ServiceNow, then what does that look like? How far does that go? Does that take me through a full implementation of AI search up into my production environment, or do you work in a dev environment and then let the customer decide if they want to bring that forward? Kind of, what does it look like as a client? I'm sure people are interested in it, but just perhaps don't know how it would roll, how it happens.
Definitely. And indeed, so we've seen huge traction around these accelerators, and they are also have, in terms of CSATs, for instance, we have one of the highest in the industry. Why is, again, these are, in terms of the accelerators, 30-day offerings where we typically meet customers. We take a copy of their instance, as we noted, when they request one of these accelerators. And then we go ahead and one of the consultants will go ahead and configure that capability in the customer clone there, or the copy of their environment. So that could potentially be a copy of their production, a copy of one of their lower instances. The customer will go ahead and select that. Once we have configured these capabilities, then we come together in a 90-minute session and we demo to the customer, bring that product to life. show them how that product can bring value to the organization, and also show them the end-to-end configuration of that capability as well. After that session, we hand them over the instance, as well as so essentially that copy instance, where they can test or any of the capabilities, or if they would like to go ahead and configure, make any other additional testing before they take it further, they can always use that instance as a testing instance or a playground instance there. In addition to that, we provide them with implementation playbooks and success resources so they can accelerate their time to value. And yes, that typically cuts down the implementation, to your question. It cuts down the implementation timeline significantly. So we have customers, for instance, who've just within 2 weeks of doing an accelerator, went ahead and taken the capability directly live to production as well. But here it is typically 30 days, as I noted. We have a 90-minute session, and the customers always have an option for a follow-up session in that 30-day time period if they ask any questions before they take it further in terms of their time, in terms of their development sprints as well.
So I guess in maybe some common client language, I guess it's like a POC. It's like a proof of concept. Is sort of effectively what you get on your own data, so you can actually see it, not like a demo where here's the search capability on a test or demo instance, but it's actually using your data, and so you get a real feel for it. But that's that proof of concept ability on a cloned instance. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Indeed, very powerful, as you noted. It's the customer's data there, so they can see how that product will come to life with their data. So that is the significance there as well. And it's a light bulb for many of our customers when they can see the product there in their instance and how it can automate or transform their particular processes. It's a big light bulb moment for our customers as well. So that is the significance that we provide with our accelerators.
So just one question I've got then. Clients who might be quite advanced with AI, maybe have data in other areas of their organization, have machine learning models working in other areas. Is it relatively easy for ServiceNow to be able to then connect to that information and incorporate that information? Are you seeing instances of like AI talking to AI yet? Like an AI agent in ServiceNow, which is what it's actually sending out is a prompt to an AI agent in some data lake or something like that?
Definitely, and that is again a fantastic question. And indeed, when you're looking at the AI space there, what is again most critical is having the ability of accessing data there, and a single data repository if possible. But as we all know, that is, when it comes to enterprises, is the most complex data silos there around, and that has been going around for a lot of years as well. That is again when it comes to Bill McDermott, our CEO, talking about the complexities that we can bring about with ServiceNow, and we can abstract all that complexity away with ServiceNow as well. That is exactly, again, one of the big use cases that we are seeing right now as well. Customers essentially have many data systems. I have possibly, in terms of ServiceNow, as my IT, my HR, I have using maybe Salesforce or using SAP or any of Oracle HCMs maybe. So all these different systems of record that are sitting across, that is creating all the complexity there for enterprises today. But bringing it together is what will unlock all that significant productivity, experience, and efficiency gains. And that is what our customers also seeing is becoming an imperative. And yes, we at ServiceNow are very much helping our customers when it comes to this space. So very recently, we at ServiceNow just acquired Raytheon, to give you a very simple example. Raytheon was one of the top 100 in the knowledge management space. They have search connectors pretty much for most of when it comes to most of these systems of record there as well. That just made it even simpler. We've already been the platform of orchestration and being able for our customers to integrate and orchestrate. That's something already been around. For instance, integration hub. You have many spokes and connectors there that you can integrate into other systems of record. But now with this acquisition as well, you can essentially go ahead with our Now Assist offerings, bring about all that data that you have in those databases, all those systems of record into the ServiceNow platform. With that, with Now Assist, you can go ahead and sit across all of those. Now Assist provides that experience layer for the user in terms of providing any answers or any support that they might need there as well. So essentially, all those systems of records can remain there, and I can bring generative AI to sit on top of them. The ServiceNow platform to breathe the experience layer, and generative AI to go ahead and provide that user that experience layer. Not only that, I can also connect with other systems as well. As you noted with AI agents, I also have Microsoft, for instance, and I'm using that as my office productivity tools, whether it's Teams, whether I'm using it for Outlook, etc. And yes, we as ServiceNow again, there is the Now Assist and our AI agents. Those can seamlessly speak with Copilot and the Copilot agents there as well. Or for instance, you're looking at any other Zoom, for instance, we have again announced an integration with them, Amazon, IBM, and many of the other systems or other partners there that we have. That is again huge. So we are the new phase as I see it. AI is going to be the new user experience layer of many of the, not only just the SaaS world, but many other industries as well. So as AI becomes that user experience layer, AI agents being able to communicate seamlessly with each other is going to be absolutely imperative as well. So we don't deal with all the silos that we had in the previous past, at least half century there when you look at the IT and the SaaS world. And that is where we at ServiceNow as well are one of the first movers and leaders there. Rather than having all that complexities, as I noted, I can have ServiceNow sit on top of all those systems of record, those databases, and be that experience layer for those customers, whether they're servicing their employees, their customers, or any other persona involved. I can get that perfect or seamless experience in order to go ahead and take that next action.
And I guess that's where the workflow data fabric, which I've been told is going to really come out in 2025, is sort of extending that capability with that no copy integration so that ServiceNow and Gen AI can just sit on top of and access all of that data.
100%, with exactly as you noted, with workflow data fabric and our recent partnerships also with Snowflake and Databricks. No copy, essentially, no copy, I can go ahead and bring in my data from across all those data lakes as well and further automate there as well. And we've also have one of the world's fastest, the fastest database there, RaptorDB, and we've brought that to market as well recently. And essentially, if not only having all that data, if I have large transactions and volumes of data, you have the world's fastest database in order to manage that with RaptorDB. You have workflow data fabric that can connect you into data lakes as well. And again, as I noted, you have Now Assist and our agents that can sit across all those databases and old systems of record there. And with that, be the experience layer for all your users, whether it's your customers, your employees, or any other persona, and provide those efficiency productivity gains for all the relevant personas there. That is essentially the next phase when I see it with AI and ServiceNow.
Yeah, and I think it's all of that is already starting to demonstrate that experience improvement. And the example that I saw recently, which I just thought was amazing, was an end user talking to a Now Assist chatbot, and it was saying, hey, I've got this problem, or I need to do something. And the chatbot was aware of a catalog item. And instead of saying, oh, click this link and go and fill out this catalog item, which you would think is, oh, that's kind of clever, it's figured out the right catalog item. No, I'm not going to send you there. While we're talking, I'm going to ask you the questions or the variables on the catalog item, like, what department are you in? Oh, okay, great. And what time zone is that? Oh, yeah. And how many people would be coming? And it's just capturing that and filling out the catalog item for you. And then submitting it, it's done. And so I've entered a catalog item without having to navigate and find it. I just asked a question and I got asked a few more questions and now it's done. That's a complete change in experience. I haven't had to really do the work. I've just talked to someone about it and it's done. It's amazing.
Exactly. And it's huge. It's huge for all of us as well. As we're looking at it now, it's an entirely new user experience. Now AI is essentially the new user experience there. And when it comes to the ServiceNow platform, as you noted, with Now Assist, essentially just type, or now with our recent innovations around voice, and we'll be seeing that a lot more as well in 2025. Just speak with Now Assist there and get my catalog there directly requested. And that's again huge in terms of an experience, how simple it is versus having to go again, click on a portal or go ahead, complete all those variables. I made a mistake and to again make those changes. Now it's just seamless. So that again is huge.
That is huge. And then I just keep thinking of the iterative capability of AI. Like I imagine with Process Designer and Process Analyzer within ServiceNow, that the next couple of iterations of ServiceNow will come with AI then looking at the processes, looking at where there are bottlenecks and suggesting really tactical improvements. Hey, just do this and do that. Do you want me to do this and do that? Just say yes, and that will help speed this process up. And I think there's a lot. I said this to a couple of people like a year or so ago. I saw one of my friends who's in ServiceNow in Australia came over to give a presentation here in New Zealand. And it was to a bunch of clients at an evening sort of dinner. And at the end of it, he just said, look, I really think you should be considering investing in ServiceNow because we are investing so much in AI in the platform. And I just really I got it there. I was like, oh my God, all of this technology sitting in that platform, which you can just turn on across your enterprise everywhere. I'm not aware of anything that's able of competing with that. You can see all sorts of, here's a bespoke HR product or an ITSM product or wherever it might be. It's like, that is great for doing just that there. But if I want to be able to, at an executive level, sit there and look across the whole organization and have the thing, I imagine ServiceNow in a couple of years will be like a self-healing kind of thing. If something's going wrong here, it'll have sorted most of it out for you and just go, look, this happened, but we fixed it. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. And that is huge. And that is exactly what we see as well, as ServiceNow being that control tower for the AI transformation when you're looking at it, as well as exactly today in many organizations, the executives are using ServiceNow already as that layer to go ahead and view across the organization and the enterprise what exactly is occurring. But you can imagine now with Now Assist and these generative AI capabilities, not only can it just go ahead and recommend the next best action, but when I have AI agents that can work autonomously as well and can take action as well on my behalf, that can again be huge there. So I essentially can potentially, even with our AI capabilities, we do have capabilities, for instance, like AI Ops. It's one of the leading as well offerings in the market. And have a capability like AI Ops sit across in my entire infrastructure. Any issues that it can see, any risks that it can go ahead and see coming in, can already go ahead and set a playbook across that and fix that issue without a human even coming into play. And I can then, just as you mentioned, after it has fixed it, just inform me, hey, this came up and it has already been fixed. So that is, again, very much possible. And we are in the cutting edge as well when you're looking at agents and what you've just noted, even with web UI agents, for instance, which is the absolute cutting edge when you're looking at it right now as well. And indeed, these are essentially can look at the screen. So you might seen that as well recently, maybe from demos from Cloud or Anthropic, or rather, and Anthropic released, or a few months ago, they just released how their LLM there can just sit across, look at your computer, and then you can provide it a prompt, and it completes a few actions, and you can even look at the screen and see it go complete those actions there as well. So that is indeed, you can imagine, as you just noted with process analysis, for instance, I can set these web UI agents where they can just look across a particular process, evaluate it, and then as over time can essentially be a self-healing process as well. Identify any bottlenecks with our process mining capabilities as well, and with that, we're already able to enhance those as well. So might be something in the future coming up, but it is something I can tell you that we are in terms of agents, definitely something that we're working towards as a ServiceNow as well.
Cool. Hey, look, thanks, Mo. It's been really interesting. I really enjoyed having this chat with you, and it's interesting to see what's going to come from ServiceNow.